The African sun rises, and with it, life stirs across the endless plains. But beneath this beauty, danger hides in every shadow. A young zebra calf named Talo takes his first steps toward freedom. Curious, innocent, unafraid. Yet one mistake, one step too far, changes everything. Roars split the morning air. Dust erupts. The herd scatters. And Talo is left behind. Alone. Vulnerable. A heartbeat against the silence of the wild. As night falls, glowing eyes circle in the dark. A herd of buffalo swoops in to save him. The calf lives, but the savanna never forgets those who wander. Meanwhile, miles away, a mother searches desperately, her cries echoing through the grasslands. Lena will not stop until she finds her son, but the plains are cruel. Predators grow hungrier by the hour. And when the family finally reunites, their nightmare is only beginning. A starving lion, eyes burning with hunger, attacks at dawn. One stallion stands between life and death. Rafi charges, hooves striking like thunder. Dust, blood, silence. The fight that follows will test the very limits of courage. But even victory brings new trials. At the river's edge, another battle waits. A crocodile strikes. A buffalo intervenes. And in one act of unexpected heroism, the savanna itself seems to rise in their defense. Through every heartbeat, every scar, every storm, they learn what it truly means to be a family. This is not just the story of survival. It's the story of love written in black and white. Because even in the wild, love finds its way home. The morning sun sets the golden grasslands of Kenya's Masai Mara ablaze. A herd of zebras grazes quietly near a wide watering hole, their striped bodies blending like living art against the horizon. For a moment, peace rules the plains. But beneath that peace, the wild always whispers a warning. Predators are never far. Among the herd, a young zebra named Talo, barely a few months old, flicks his tail and chases a butterfly that dances just beyond reach. His mother, Lena, calls softly, her voice a low, rhythmic snort that only her calf can recognize. But curiosity wins over caution. Talo trots farther, his small hooves brushing the tall grass. Then, everything changes. A distant roar rolls through the air. The ground trembles as wildebeest begin to run. Then impala, gazelles, everything fleeing in one direction. The herd senses danger. In a blur of panic, the zebras bolt. Dust fills the sky, and Talo, confused and terrified, runs the wrong way. Within seconds, the plains fall silent again, and the calf finds himself alone. The savanna, once warm and bright, turns into a world of endless echoes. Talo's ears twitch at every sound. The rustle of grass, the cry of a distant bird, the growl of something unseen. He calls out over and over, hoping to hear his mother's voice, but only the wind answers. As night descends, the Masai Mara changes its face. Eyes glow in the darkness. Pairs of yellow, hungry eyes that move in silence. Hyenas laugh in the distance. Talo's legs tremble, yet he keeps walking, driven by instinct, by hope, by the faint scent of home. The moon rises and the temperature drops. A lone calf in the middle of predator territory has no chance. At least, that's what nature decides most of the time. But this night, something unusual happens. A rumble breaks the stillness. Not from lions, but from the earth itself. The ground begins to vibrate. Then, from the mist, shadows emerge, massive and many. A herd of African buffalo charges across the plain. Their hooves thunder like distant drums. Startled, the lurking hyenas scatter into the dark. Talo freezes as the massive beasts pass just meters away, their horns gleaming under the moonlight. One of them pauses, looks down at the trembling calf, then simply moves on, as if acknowledging a survivor among survivors. The herd's movement creates a wall of dust, hiding Talo from predators long enough to rest. He collapses beside an acacia tree, his chest heaving, his tiny body covered in dust. Above him, the stars burn brighter than ever. He doesn't know if he'll see his mother again. He doesn't know if dawn will come for him. But somewhere, Miles away, Lena is still calling. And though separated by distance, their calls echo faintly across the night, two hearts refusing to give up. As the first light of morning touches the plains, a new sound stirs, the faintest answer carried on the wind. Could it be her? Or something else waiting in the grass? The Savanna never tells right away. You have to survive to find out. The first light of dawn stretches over the Masai Mara, chasing away the cold mist that clings to the ground. Dew glitters on the grass like diamonds scattered by the night. But beauty in the wild is never gentle. It hides struggle beneath its glow. Talo wakes with a shiver. His small body aches from exhaustion. Every sound makes his heart race. The flutter of wings, the crack of branches, the whisper of wind. He listens for his mother's voice, but the plains are too wide, too empty. A vulture circles above. Talo senses what it means. He forces himself to stand, legs unsteady, and begins to walk. He doesn't know where to go, but something inside him, a pull older than memory, tells him to keep moving east, where the wind smells of his herd. Far away, that same wind brushes across Lena's face. Her flanks are streaked with dust and blood from the chaos of the stampede. She limps as she walks, but she doesn't stop. Her ears twitch at every distant cry, hoping for her son's voice. The herd has moved on, but she no longer cares for safety or numbers. There is only one thing that matters now: finding Talo. Lena follows faint tracks in the soft earth, tiny hoofprints scattered and confused. Hyena prints mix with them. Her heart tightens. She lowers her head, sniffing, desperate for a sign that her calf is still alive. The sun rises higher. The heat builds, and the scent trails fade. Hours pass, and the savanna begins to hum with life again. Birds singing, insects buzzing, predators watching from the shade. Lena stops at a watering hole, panting. She drinks deeply, her reflection rippling across the water. But as she lowers her head, something stirs beneath the surface. A pair of yellow eyes opens. A crocodile. In a flash, the water explodes. Lena jerks back as powerful jaws snap where her leg was a second ago. She stumbles and kicks, hooves striking the water's edge. The croc lunges again, its teeth grazing her hind leg. Lena screams, a deep, desperate sound that echoes across the plains. And far away, Talo hears it. The calf freezes. That cry, he knows it. It cuts through the air like lightning through cloud. He brays in return, high-pitched and trembling, calling with all the strength left in him. But his voice fades into the distance, swallowed by the open plain. At the waterhole, Lena fights for her life. Her hooves slam down, splashing mud and water. The crocodile's jaws clamp around her tail, but with a final violent kick, she breaks free, tearing a chunk of flesh in the process. Bleeding and shaking, she stumbles back from the edge. The predator sinks beneath the water again, defeated but patient. Lena collapses in the grass, gasping. Her wound burns, but she knows she cannot stay. Somewhere out there, her calf is alive, or so she must believe. She stands again, trembling, and limps toward the east, following the faintest scent trail only a mother could recognize. As the sun dips low, Talo finds a patch of shade beneath a fallen log. He lowers his head, eyes heavy. The day has been long, cruel, and lonely. Then, movement. A shape in the distance. Talo's ears twitch, nostrils flaring. He lifts his head, heart pounding. A herd. Stripes moving against the golden light. He neighs, a desperate cry bursting from his throat. The herd freezes. One turns her head. And for a moment, Talo sees the familiar curve of her face, the pattern of stripes he could never forget. Lena. She calls back, a trembling, broken sound of joy and disbelief. The two begin to run, her limping, him stumbling, but neither stops. The distance between them closes until Talo presses against her side, nuzzling her neck, crying softly. For the first time since the storm of panic, the savanna feels right again. Mother and calf, together. Two survivors who found each other in a land ruled by danger. But even in this moment of reunion, the wild never rests. Eyes watch them from the tall grass, a shadow moving low, silent, patient. The wind shifts, and the scent of predator drifts over them. The lions have found their trail. And as the sky turns crimson, the Masai Mara prepares for another test of survival. One that will demand not just courage, but sacrifice. The sun burns low over the horizon, casting the savanna in a deep orange glow. Shadows stretch long across the grasslands, and the evening wind carries whispers of danger. The herd moves slowly now, cautious and weary. Lena stays close to Talo, never letting him stray more than a few steps. Each breath she takes is still heavy with pain from the crocodile bite, but she hides it well. A mother cannot afford to show weakness in the wild. The stallion, Rumo, leads at the front. His black and white stripes shimmer like armor beneath the dying light. He senses something wrong. He stops suddenly, ears twisting toward the wind. The herd halts behind him, nervous hooves shifting. A rustle in the grass, then silence. Rumo snorts, stamping the ground. His tail flicks sharply, a warning. He's been alive long enough to know what silence means. Predators are near. Lena nudges Talo, guiding him toward the center of the herd where the young and weak gather for safety. But Talo is curious, too young to understand the language of danger. He peers toward the tall grass, ears twitching. The air grows heavier. The insects stop singing. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. And then, out of the shadows, a lion steps forward. His name is Sunny. A young male, strong and lean, his mane just beginning to darken. His eyes burn with hunger. His ribs show faintly beneath his golden coat, a sign of many failed hunts. He stares at the herd with deadly focus, but his gaze locks onto something smaller, slower. Talo. The zebra calf freezes. For a heartbeat, prey and predator stare at each other across the distance. Then Sunny lowers his head, muscles coiling, and he charges. The plain erupts in chaos. Zebras scream and scatter, hooves thundering against the dry earth. Dust explodes into the air as the herd breaks apart, each instinct screaming the same command: run. Lena pushes Talo forward, shouting in short, frantic calls. Go! Go! But the calf is slower, his legs still weak from the journey. The lion's growl roars behind them, closing in fast. Sunny leaps, his claws outstretched, jaws wide. But before he can reach them, something slams into him from the side. Rumo. The stallion crashes into the lion with the full force of his weight, hooves lashing and striking. The impact sends Sunny tumbling across the dirt. He lands hard, growling, and scrambles to his feet. The zebra stallion snorts, nostrils flaring, standing between the lion and the herd. The two lock eyes, the king of predators and the protector of prey. Sunny circles, his tail flicking, testing his opponent. Rumo pivots with every move, hooves stamping the ground, daring the lion to come closer. It's a standoff, a silent, electric tension that could explode at any second. The lion lunges. Rumo rears up, kicking with both front legs. His hooves strike Sunny's shoulder, sending him staggering back. But Sunny is relentless. He circles again, feinting left, then striking from the right. His claws scrape Rumo's side, leaving a bloody mark. The stallion grunts but doesn't fall. Instead, he charges straight through the lion's attack, slamming his chest into Sunny's ribs. The lion roars in pain as the zebra's strength sends him sprawling once more. Lena watches, trembling, her heart pounding. Talo hides beneath her, eyes wide, as the dust swirls around them. The two titans of the savanna, hunter and defender, clash again and again. Each strike echoes through the grasslands. Each breath is a fight between instinct and courage. Sunny is faster, sharper, born for the kill. Rumo is heavier, slower, but fueled by something the lion doesn't understand: duty. For every zebra watching, for every foal that must live to see tomorrow, Rumo stands as the shield. Even as blood darkens his stripes, he doesn't back down. Finally, the lion hesitates, panting, wounded and uncertain. He looks toward the herd, then at the stallion before him. The hunt has cost him more than it promised. He snarls once, low and frustrated, before turning away. With a slow, angry pace, Sunny disappears back into the tall grass, swallowed by the golden dusk. The savanna is silent again, except for the trembling breaths of the herd. Rumo stands tall, sides heaving, his body marked with blood and dust. Lena steps forward, her eyes filled with gratitude and sorrow. She knows what his courage cost him, and what it protected. As the first stars appear in the sky, the herd gathers close once more. The danger has passed, for now. But in the heart of every zebra, a quiet truth settles like ash after fire. Every victory in the wild comes with a scar. Rumo limps to the ridge, looking out over the plains. The moon rises, pale and cold, washing the grass in silver. Behind him, Talo lies beside his mother, safe at last. And far in the distance, the lion's roar echoes across the night, not of triumph, but of hunger unfulfilled. A reminder that the struggle never ends, only pauses. Tomorrow, the Savanna will test them again. But tonight, they have earned their peace. The Savanna awakens under the pale light of dawn. A soft mist clings to the grass as the zebra herd moves slowly toward the river, their hooves pressing shallow prints into the damp earth. The air is cool, almost peaceful. But beneath that calm lies exhaustion. The herd hasn't rested properly in days. They've traveled far from the lion's territory. But every rustle, every whisper of wind feels like danger. The plains may look quiet, but silence in the wild is never safety. It is the pause before something unseen moves. Lena walks near the rear, Talo close to her side. The young calf has grown stronger since the night of the attack. His stride is steadier, his gaze more alert, but his innocence still clings to him like morning dew. For him, the world is still full of wonder. For her, full of ghosts. They reach the River of Shadows, a place where the water runs deep and dark under the shade of ancient trees. It is the only source of water for miles, but it is also a graveyard of bones. Every creature on the Savanna knows this place, and every creature fears it. Yet thirst is a merciless thing. The herd gathers at the edge, hesitant. The ripples on the surface reflect the morning sky, calm and blue, hiding the dangers that glide beneath. Rumo steps forward first, testing the air. His ears flick nervously. The scent of crocodile lingers, faint but unmistakable. Still, he knows they have no choice. He turns to the herd, gives a soft call. The zebras begin to drink, one by one. Lena lowers her head, her reflection shimmering in the water. She hesitates. Something deep in her instincts tells her to wait, but her throat burns with thirst. She drinks carefully, ears twitching at every splash. Talo mimics her, dipping his muzzle for the first time. His small reflection ripples beside hers, fragile, fleeting. Then the water stirs. A shadow moves beneath the surface. Slow, silent, precise. Before Lena can react, the river explodes. A massive crocodile bursts from the water, jaws wide. The world turns to chaos. Splashing, screaming, the crack of bones and the thunder of hooves. The reptile's jaws clamp down, not on Talo, but on Lena's hind leg. She lets out a cry that shakes the air. Talo freezes, staring in horror as his mother thrashes, kicking desperately. The water churns red around her as the crocodile drags her deeper. Rumo shouts a warning call, charging toward the bank. The herd scatters away from the water in terror, but Rumo doesn't stop. He kicks at the shallows, striking the crocodile's head, but it's too strong. Lena's eyes meet his, desperate, pleading. The stallion knows she's slipping away, but then, the ground trembles. A new sound rises from beyond the trees, deep, heavy, thundering. From the shadows of the riverbank emerges a massive figure, a buffalo bull, his horns curved like the crescent moon, his eyes burning with fury. He had been watching, waiting, guarding his territory. But something in the zebra's cry, something in the sound of pain, has stirred him to action. With a roar that shakes the water itself, the buffalo charges. He crashes into the crocodile with a force like an earthquake, his horns slamming into the reptile's flank. The beast releases Lena and thrashes wildly, snapping at the air, but the buffalo doesn't back down. He strikes again and again until the crocodile retreats into the depths, vanishing beneath the murky waves. The water goes still. Lena lies trembling in the shallows, bleeding, gasping for air. Rumo moves to her side, nuzzling her gently. The buffalo stands guard nearby, chest heaving, watching the water for any sign of movement. For a long, fragile moment, the Savanna is silent. Only the wind moves, carrying away the echoes of violence. Lena's breath comes shallow now. Talo presses close to her, crying softly. his small body trembling. She lifts her head, meeting his eyes, the same eyes that once saw wonder in everything. Her strength is fading, but in her gaze, there is peace. Rumo bows his head, and even the buffalo lowers his massive horns in quiet respect. Lena has fought every battle a mother can fight, from captivity to freedom, from fear to courage. But every warrior of the wild must one day lay down their fight. As the sun breaks through the morning mist, her eyes close slowly. And the herd knows. The plains have lost a mother, but gained a legend. Talo nuzzles her still body, refusing to leave. Rumo watches in silence. He knows that the calf cannot survive alone, not without guidance. But before he can move, the buffalo does something no one expects. He steps forward and lowers his great head, touching the calf gently with his horn. As if saying, "You are not alone." The herd gathers around, forming a circle of protection. Above them, the vultures circle, but none dare descend. And so, in the shadow of the river where death reigned, life makes a quiet promise. A zebra calf, a herd, and an old buffalo, bound by a moment of mercy that defies nature itself. As the sun climbs higher, the plains glow with gold once more. The river reflects the light, calm again, as though it never held blood. But the Savanna remembers. Every life saved, every scar earned, every bond formed in the face of death becomes part of its eternal song. Days pass. The river runs calm once again, as if trying to wash away the memory of blood and struggle. But for the zebra herd, everything has changed. They move slower now, more carefully, their ranks closer and tighter than before. At the heart of the herd walks Talo, the calf who once trembled in fear by the water's edge. Now, his eyes hold a quiet fire, a reflection of every lesson the Savanna has carved into his heart. Beside him walks Rumo, the old stallion. He has seen many seasons, many losses, but never a bond like this. The buffalo still follows them at a distance, keeping a silent watch. A guardian born of chance, now a part of their family's rhythm. The plains shimmer under the noonday sun. Herds of wildebeest graze nearby. Ostriches run in the wind. Life, once again, hums through the land. But in every shadow, memory lingers. Talo glances at the river they left behind, the place where his mother fell. He doesn't cry anymore. Not because he has forgotten, but because he remembers everything she stood for. Courage, compassion, the will to protect even when you are afraid. He carries those memories like stripes on his soul. One evening, as the sky burns orange and gold, the herd rests beneath a baobab tree. A distant roar echoes from the north. Lions again, far but familiar. The herd stiffens, instinct pulling tight like a string. But Talo steps forward, ears high. He is still small, not yet a stallion, not yet a leader. But in his eyes burns something ancient, something wild. He remembers Rumo's bravery against the lions. He remembers the buffalo's charge against the crocodile. He remembers his mother's final gaze, soft but unbroken. And in that moment, he understands what the plains were trying to teach him all along. Strength is not just the power to fight. It is the courage to care, even when the world tells you not to. Night falls. The stars stretch across the dark like silver trails. The herd sleeps, but Rumo and the buffalo remain awake, silent guardians under the moon. Talo stands between them, head high. For the first time, the calf does not feel like a child. He feels like part of the Savanna itself, born of struggle, shaped by loss, alive through mercy. The wind moves gently across the grass, carrying whispers of the past. If you listen closely, you might still hear Lena's voice in the rustling leaves, reminding her son to walk without fear, to live with kindness, and to protect what is fragile. In the vastness of the wild, life and death are endless. But compassion leaves a mark that never fades. Stories like this remind us, even in nature, mercy is stronger than fear. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because every view helps keep these stories of courage, compassion, and creation alive. And who knows, the next story might be even more extraordinary than this one.